And they're acting, as you can tell with a lot of actors that haven't done a lot of acting in their time, they overreact. Every single scene they overreact. And it might be funny the first few times, but when you're watching an 85 to 90 minute film and you're seeing this once every 15 minutes or so, it gets very redundant and boring. And it's not, you can't even laugh at it anymore once it reaches a certain point. And that's how bad this film got. So the special effects were okay. That might be worth watching. But I wouldn't recommend it except for hardcore, very low budget horror film fans that really want to watch everything. That's the only group of people that I can really recommend this to. And as far as special features on this, they do load these up pretty good with special features. This one has commentary with director John McBride, which he does a pretty decent commentary. Newly produced interviews with cast, deleted scenes, a music video, stills gallery, and a camp trailer vault. And it also has a collectible color booklet, and this is unrated. Okay, the next film is Drive-In Massacre. Now, I must admit, if I had seen this film in the original format that it was supposed to be, which I'm assuming that this was made for the drive-in crowd, and it probably worked better in that format with that kind of audience than it would a home video audience. The first time I saw this film, my local video store had a copy on VHS. And the picture on the front, which I know very well now that you can't always go, they say you can't judge a book by its cover. Well, you can't judge a DVD or a VHS video by its cover either, because I've been burned a lot of times on that. But the cover for the VHS had a woman hanging out of a car door upside down, blood running from her throat, and it said something to the effect of don't let your friends hide in the trunk or whatever, which is something a lot of people used to do, believe it or not, when they went to drive-ins to save money on admission. Friends or family members would hide in the trunk until they got inside the drive-in, and then they would get out and watch the movie. So this movie concerns some or a killer that is killing people with swords at a drive-in. And again, the characters are horrible. The dialogue is horrible. Some of the setups make absolutely no sense. You've got these bumbling, goofy cops that are running around in the whole movie. You've got a mildly retarded man working at the drive-in, picking up trash. I believe they refer to him as Jeremy. And there's just all kinds of oddball. Oh, you got a guy that's like a peeping Tom that likes going around peeking in people's cars when they're making out the drive-in. Just a bunch of oddball characters kind of thrown together in this movie. And then, of course, you've got the gore effects, which was my main reason for wanting to watch it in the first place. There could be no other reason for anyone to watch this film. You're not going to get any character development out of it. You're definitely not going to get any plot. If you want to watch some, I'd say at least 3 to 4 good gory scenes, then, you can, if you get bored with the storyline, just scene select to the gore scenes or fast forward to the gore scenes. Those are the definite highlights. One particular scene that always just makes me laugh when I think about it is a couple that's sitting in a car at the drive-in, and this is probably about 20 or so minutes into the film, and the woman, believe it or not, is wanting to get down to business. She's wanting to have sex with her boyfriend. Well, what's he want to do? He wants to watch the movie. He actually wants to watch the movie that's at this drive-in, and he's kind of fighting her on. She's like, oh, please, please. And he keeps fooling with the speaker. And for those of you that remember the drive-ins, back in the early days of drive-ins, you had speakers that were outside of your car window. Now, of course, you can dial in on the radio and get the frequency to listen to the movie. But I know back when my mom and dad were still going to drive-ins, you actually had the speakers that you would pull off of this pole and put on your car window. And there were signs around that said, please replace the speaker before you drive off, because so many people were pulling the speakers off when they left. But anyway, the guy's, leaning out of the car window, fooling with the speaker and trying to fight off his girlfriend at the same time. And the killer comes around to his side of the window and cuts this guy's head off with a sword. And the girlfriend's like, come on, come on. And she doesn't realize her boyfriend's just been decapitated. And she pulls him back into the car. And of course, he has no head. And that's probably the best scene in the whole movie, and the one worth watching if you're going to watch anything on the film. And here actually is the scene from the movie that I saw on the video cover. I don't know if you can see that really well, but that's the woman hanging upside down out of the car. And this doesn't have any special features. This was put out by Cheesy Flicks. This is from 1976, actually the year I was born. It's as old as me. But definitely one to watch for gore effects, if nothing else. But don't expect any good plot or good character development. Okay. The next one is Invasion of the Blood Farmers. And again, this one was put out by Retro Media. Are you seeing a reoccurring theme here? Retro Media puts out some of the god-awfulest movies. And why I ended up buying a lot of these, I'll never know. I guess I'm a glutton for punishment. This actually has, for those of you that are fans of Fred Olen Ray, this has an episode of Fred Olen Ray's Night Owl Theater, which would probably be slightly better than this film as far as amusement purposes. But Invasion of the Blood Farmers is another terrible, terrible film. It's about these guys that they're literally farmers, and they're part of this cult that wants to bring back to life some kind of queen of their group, but they've got to have blood. So they go around kidnapping these townspeople and draining the blood out of them, and then giving it to their queen so that they can bring her back to life.